For the GM Tonawanda propulsion plant making new engines, to the Ford Hamburg stamping plant turning out car body parts, and the overall auto industry, the Trump administration's changing tariffs policies and U-turn on electric vehicle mandates and rebates has a ripple effect.
According to CEO of Ford, Jim Farley, he said he's in contact with the White House almost every day about tariffs and trying to figure out what's going on.
Earlier this week, General Motors announcing that tariffs took a smaller than expected, roughly $4 to $4.5 billion bite out of their third quarter earnings. They specifically mentioned the previously announced $888 million investment at the Tonawanda engine plant for advanced, more fuel-efficient, but still gas-powered V8 engines for their big profit-making pickups and SUVs. Perhaps Ford will have better news as well.
This is good news for the Tonawanda plant for having more demand for the engines, and they make some pretty good engines there for like the Corvette and for other larger vehicles. So that's great for them. It's also not bad news for the Ford stamping plant because the Canadian plant for Ford has changed from making electric, saying, nah, you know what, I guess we're just going to sell more gas-powered ones.
On the other hand, for those GM and Ford car auto assembly plants in Canada, which are closer to Western New York than Michigan, still tariff uncertainty and perhaps trouble as perhaps more production goes to the Midwest.
There has been increasing pressure by the Trump administration in exchange for reducing some of the tariffs on some of the rebates and things. They actually want GM, Ford, and Stellantis to start putting more in the U.S., and the easiest place for them to move is to move it from Canada to the U.S. Buffalo, we have an engine plant, we have a stamping plant, we don't have an assembly plant, so that they could go to an integrated stamping and assembly, more of that model, and they probably would not add an assembly plant in Buffalo.
Okay, late word from Detroit. Ford also did better on earnings than expected despite the tariffs, and with more automaker profits, maybe somewhat bigger profit-sharing checks for our local auto plant workers. On your side, Ron Plants, Channel 2 News.
Thank you, Ron.